allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Council President. Next on the agenda is our consent agenda. We have 2 items for consideration. Unless any members of council would like to discuss either one separately, I would ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I make a motion.
Second.
Councilman Armington?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb?
Yes.
Councilman Iannicone?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
And Council President Foster.
Yes.
Motion carries.
At this time, we're going to go into our public hearing session. If there are any members of the public wishing to be heard tonight, please come before us and state your name and address for the record, please. Billy. Happy New Year.
My name is Bill Byrne. I live at 100 Franklin Street, and I'm here to congratulate everybody, the newly elect, and just really proud of you guys, and hope that we have a successful year and that we can work together on a lot of issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Billy, for your kind words. Are there any other members from the public wishing to be heard this evening? If not, I'll close the public portion. Moving on. Do we have any proclamations or presentations from the mayor?
I don't have any proclamations, but I will briefly go over my list. But I want to, the police chief is in the back somewhere. There he is. I just wanted to make the council aware on their consent agenda. They should pay very close attention to the Blue Wave New Jersey Women's Rally and March from Town Hall to the Morristown Green on January 20th. Our police chief is on top of it, is coordinating it. There could be several thousand women marching. If my numbers are correct, when this was held last year, they had 7,800 show up in Trenton. So we could theoretically have 5,000 people, women marching in our downtown. They're coming into Town Hall. So if you want, join, also show up and participate and be part of it. It's being advertised. They're talking about it in New York, D.C. We've had phone calls. The councilwoman has phone call from Councilwoman from Newark.
Yes.
I've heard some mayors that are getting bus loads that are coming up from other communities. So it's going to be a big event. The other thing, and if you need to call the business administrator, the police chief, I'm sure if you need any more information, they can provide it to you. The other thing is the community options Cupid Chase 5K. Is there a route attached to this?
There was.
It was.
Yeah.
Actually,
I didn't see it.
No,
So-
It goes over to
No,
Early.
it basically follows the old Verizon 5K up
Okay.
Mills around. I've already notified all the neighbors.
Okay.
But going back to what you first said about the march, the application says 500 people. So do you have any information that says their application is incorrect? Because their application says 500.
Yeah.
The application does say 500 plus, and when the application was initially submitted a couple of weeks ago, they had just initiated promotion, and my understanding is that the response rates that they're getting is substantially better than even they anticipated at this point, which is why we're estimating a very large
So are we
crowd.
estimating road closures and
Yes.
barricades? And
Yes.
so could the police chief come up and tell us what he recommends in terms of security and cost? Because basically on the application, there's none of that presented. So how is this different from other items we approve on the consent agenda with respect to cost and understanding
Well,
Who's paying for this?
I can certainly give you an overview of the road closures that are expected. The event will begin with a rally in front of Town Hall. Depending on the size of the crowd, if it's any larger than a couple thousand people, there may be required to close a section of South Street in front of Town Hall for the rally. Then the event will proceed up South Street to the Green. We are anticipating a street closure only during the march from Town Hall to the Green. The roads will be closed using a combination of public works and police vehicles. Once it gets to the Green, South Street will be reopened. There would be road closures for the segment of South Park Place between Morris and South Street. That would be completely closed. South Street will be completely open, but there will be partial lane closures for North Park Place and East Park Place. So traffic will be able to flow by the Presbyterian Church, and then the other side by Century 21, and then South Street will be open heading south out of town.
So this is from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. only?
Yes.
Okay, and then will the citizens be notified
Yes.
through a Nixle alert as to avoid, the traffic or those areas? And
Yes, absolutely.
to use alternate routes?
Absolutely.
And all the,
My question, though, is who's going to pay for this security and the work, the man hours that's required for, or woman hours in this case, for the work required?
At
If
this
it's a
point,
Saturday, is that overtime? Is that?
it is a Saturday. It will require a call-in for police officers as well as DPW workers. At this point, we anticipate the town would have to bear the cost of the event. However, we are working with the event organizers and, certainly are emphasizing that, their sharing in the cost burden would be certainly welcome and encouraged.
Well, I would like to see a report after the fact as to what the requirements were and what the needs were.
Sure.
So that we could, after the fact, do any sort of invoicing or anything to the event organizers so that they are aware if this is going to be an annual event of some sort, what the costs are, so that we don't have this extra cost.
Understood.
Jillian, just one other question. Is there anything we can do in terms of helping with the buses? Like have them park over at Southgate and bus them?
Yes, we've made a plan in order to store buses off-site, and they'll be organized with the organizers. We've also made a plan for parking for volunteers as well. They are in communication with the parking authority as well as Headquarters Plaza for parking facilities for their attendees as well. They're encouraging people to carpool, of course, and to park near the Green and to walk up to Town Hall. If they're participating in both the rally here and the rally at the Green.
The kind of thing we should get a group of volunteers to help the police department?
I'm going to let our police chief, who has got deep experience in crowd control and these type of events. We're fortunate to have Chief Denman's in charge of these type of things because he does really nationally does this kind of stuff. I've seen the layout already. I've had some meetings. We were briefed the other day. We're also going to have a meeting tomorrow with the organizing group. I can tell you that the police chief and his brass have this under control. They will be, I really don't want to speak for the chief. If he wants to come up and speak, he can. Okay. But he is not, he'll reach out to all the agencies he needs to make sure that Morristown is well-equipped, and we'll deal with this historic march as they picked Morristown. So we look forward to it. It's happens all over the country. So this is the designation for New Jersey, and we're proud to host.
This is the one city for New Jersey?
This is the New Jersey rally.
Yeah.
If you're meeting with them tomorrow and you can update the application, that would be terrific.
I can certainly provide you with updated information as
Thank
I have
you.
it.
Sure. And afterwards, we'll have the police department send a memo to the council on how it went.
Yeah, if there's any recommendations on safety and security.
Okay. We all know that Christmas had come and gone. I want to thank the Salvation Army for what they did with their Christmas breakfast and toy distribution at 95 Spring Street. It was an amazing event. Hats off to them. They really do a great job, the Salvation Army. On Monday, we all know that we had our reorg meeting again. I want to congratulate all those that were sworn in and how well that went. And our new clerk for her fifth day, I think it was on the job, did a great job, and we appreciate it, and now officially welcome you to the council dais as our new clerk. Upcoming events, on Monday, January 15th, is the 33rd Annual Interfaith Breakfast and MLK Commemorative Services at the Hyatt in Morristown. For tickets, please email the Martin Luther King Observance Committee at MLKOBSVCommitteeJ@AOL, or see Council President?
Yes.
Or see the Council President for tickets. It fills up very quickly. It's a big event, so hopefully I'll see you all there. And then we already just discussed the January 20th rally, and that's all I have, Council President.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Moving on to other presentations and reports, if there are any.
Parking Authority met last week. It was their reorganization meeting. The new chair is Linda Stamato, vice chair is Jimmy DeVaggio, treasurer is Marge Brady, secretary is Richard Ty. Then they appointed all their support staff. It was a very nice reorganization.
Thank you, Bob. Any other council liaison reports? Mayor, you already went over your calendar of events. Like
Yeah,
that?
the MLK, we did have a reorg at the planning board, and reappointed our professional services and had our reorg. It was all lasted about 15 minutes. That was it.
Who's the planning board chair?
Joe Stanley.
Who?
Joe Stanley.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
All righty, moving on to regular business.
Okay, tonight on the agenda, we have one ordinance for introduction. It is ordinance number 1-2018, an ordinance of the Town of Morristown amending and supplementing Chapter 5 entitled Animal Control.
I'll make a motion. Second.
Councilman Armington?
Wait one
I have a
second.
couple questions.
Questions from council?
Hi.
Hi.
So is the rationale for this because the vaccines are 3 years?
Yes, and actually,
Side with the 3-year?
and Madam President, I actually have our Assistant Health Officers here give a brief overview as to the source of this ordinance.
That'd be
If I can ask
great.
her to come up.
So those who don't know Stephanie Gorman,
You can go to the,
just introduce yourself.
Stephanie Gorman, I'm the Assistant Health Officer for the Town of Morristown. Yes, the basis for the ordinance is to coincide with the rabies vaccine, which is valid for 3 years. So it allows more convenience for residents to register their dogs and cats. So instead of registering once every year, it will be valid for 3 years. Currently, right now, we have 643 dogs licensed in the municipality and 175 cats, which it breaks down to 3% of the population for dogs and less than 1% for cats, which compared to the national average is 36% for dogs and 30% for cats. So we're really under compared to the national average. So we're hoping that this will increase the licensing rates for the town. This helps support the Animal Trust, which helps pay for our animal control officer and the costs that the town incurs for the animal control program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Okay. We had a motion by Council President Foster and a second by Councilwoman Davis.
Yes. Yes.
I'll take a roll call. Councilman Armington?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman
Yes.
Davis? Councilman Iannicone?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
And Council President Foster?
Yes.
Okay. The ordinance has been properly introduced, and the public hearing will be held on January 23rd at 7:30 PM. Next on the agenda, we have the 29 resolutions for adoption. Unless any member of council would like to consider them separately, I would
Are there
request.
any resolutions that council members would like to have pulled for a second vote?
Madam Clerk, can we just put it on the record that you're adding the resolution from closed session?
Yes, that's correct. We are adding Resolution 35-2018. It was discussed in closed session. Thank you.
Can you pull out 35, 2018, so we can discuss it in open, please?
Okay. Okay, and Council President, I can do the rest en masse?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolutions en masse.
And that's Resolutions 07-2018 through 34-2018. First by Council President Foster. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Councilman Armington?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb?
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
And Council President Foster?
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution number 35-2018 to be considered separately is a resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Morristown in the County of Morris, authorizing settlement of the 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, and 2017 tax appeals entitled Morristown Real Estate Associates versus Town of Morristown, docket number 009515-2011, 006366-2012, 003490-2013, 002663-2014, 005106-2015, 005576-2016, 006116-2017 of the tax assessment of Block 4601, Lot 15, known as 176 South Street in the town of Morristown, Morris County, New Jersey.
I'll make a motion to approve. Second.
Oh, wait,
You wanted to have a
okay.
council discussion?
Yeah, just could the council attorney provide background for the public as to why this is in the best interest for the taxpayers of Morristown?
Sure. So as our assessor, our professional testified during closed session, there were appeals of number of years from 2011 to 2017. And because of the down market in the first 4 years of 2011, 12, 13, and 14, then when the property was assessed at a higher amount, there was exposure to the town of Morristown. And as a result, their recommendation, the recommendation of our tax appeal attorney, and the recommendation of our assessor was that those appeals be settled, and then the applicant will withdraw the appeals for 15, 16, and 17. And also because of the change in ratio from 80% to 69%, it's in the best interest of the town to settle.
Any other questions from council?
Okay, I will take a roll call. Councilman Armington?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb?
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
And Council President Foster?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, we have no old business. Moving on to new business. The request for hearing Baskin Ridge Towing. I guess we'll have an explanation from our legal.
Sure. So every year, towers have to apply for renewal of their license. And in this case, and when the applications are made, the police department and the clerk's office works to inspect the vehicles, inspect the storage yard, and make sure there are no violations, et cetera, and then makes a recommendation to the clerk's office, and the clerk's office either grants them a license or denies them a license. If a license is denied, then the applicant has an opportunity to appeal it to the town council. You may recall there was an appeal heard by this council about a year and a half ago by this applicant, but that was then. When all of the towers made an application at the end of last year for their license renewals, the police department did their due diligence, and they made a recommendation that BRT be denied a license to tow vehicles from the private lot yards as well as the police tow yards. When that denial was received by BRT, they submitted a letter to the council asking that a hearing be scheduled. Now, our ordinance states that the council can appoint a hearing officer. It says they should appoint a hearing officer. Last time, about a year and a half ago, the applicant consented to the council serving as the hearing officer. But our code really states that once an appeal is received, the council will then appoint by resolution a hearing officer, and that hearing officer will sit, hear both sides of the dispute, and render a decision. So it's up to the council on whether they want to sit as a body to hear this appeal, as long as the applicant consents to that. But our ordinance states that the council will appoint a hearing officer, which we can certainly do at the next council meeting. I can bring a resolution, and we can certainly do that. So it's up to the council on how they wish to proceed.
Sorry, Reach, just clarification.
Sure.
So we appoint a hearing officer, but then does the council sit as the,
No,
The
no,
hearing officer will do it and come with a recommendation.
that's correct.
And do we have to then approve the recommendation?
No, the hearing officer will make a
the final
decision.
Recommendation, got it.
And who would typically be the hearing officer? Special
It would-
counsel or something like that,
it's-
or-
We don't have a hearing officer. I have a few people in mind who have backgrounds in these types of things, but I can certainly bring the recommendation and the resolution at the next council meeting, if that's how the council wishes to proceed.
I would encourage that.
I as well.
Okay, so I will bring a resolution at the next council meeting.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda are council appointments. There are a number of vacancies in the Board of Adjustment that we will be appointing this evening. I would ask the council to kindly clarify some of the changes that are going to be done.
Sure. So there are 3 vacancies, and the problem with the Board of Adjustment is that there are no holdovers. So once a term expires, the continuation of board business is at risk because there are full members that have been sitting through hearings and they are in limbo right now. Although all 3 vacancies have been advertised. 2 of them have not been advertised for the full 30 days. But under our code, under 2-2.3C4, council has the ability to bypass a 30-day notice requirement if they feel that it's necessary to make the appointment for the board to properly function. So if the council wishes to, and in this case, there are 3 vacancies, so there is a full member who is an incumbent who wants to be reappointed, another full member that is no longer with us, so that seat is open, but there are incumbents who wish to be appointed to these positions, so if the council wishes to, they could make 3 of the 3 appointments today, and there will still be 1 vacancy left of an alternate position.
So I'd like to make a motion that we go ahead and make those 3 appointments tonight.
You'll have to do it one at a time.
Right.
Okay. Okay, that I will accept a nomination for a full regular member whose term will expire on 12/31/21.
Madam Clerk, can I just, if you could let the council know whether whose position that was and
Oh.
whether that person wishes to be reappointed?
Oh, certainly. That position belongs to Meredith Marcus, the Chair of the Board of Adjustment. It is a 4-year regular term expiring on 12/31/21.
Except on the agenda, it says 2018 and then a 2-year. So are we missing one on the agenda?
The second alternate member for the 2 years, we are going to be tabling that. I just didn't get there yet.
Oh,
And I am adding what council has just discussed ahead of those.
okay.
Was I clear? Did I?
Yes.
I can restate that.
I'd like to nominate Meredith Marcus.
Second?
Okay. Councilman Armington?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb?
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
And Council President Foster?
Yes.
Motion carries. The second appointment this evening is nomination for a full board member of the Board of Adjustment to step into an unexpired term ending on 12/31/2018. That position was vacated by a gentleman who passed away.
Is it Jeff Stiles?
Yes.
I'd like to nominate Jeff Stiles.
Second?
Okay,
Who is that?
Jeff Stiles, he's the alternate one. He's the first alternate. So this would essentially move him up,
Jeff Stiles?
yeah,
Okay.
into a full position.
okay, thank you. Councilman Armington?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb?
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
And Council President Foster?
Yes.
Motion carries. Our third nomination will be to move the current alternate 2 up to the alternate 1 position.
Well,
No,
I'm
no,
sorry.
no.
So
There's-
right now, based on what...
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Right now, based on what's happened, there is a vacancy in the first alternate position. So that is the position that it needs to be filled, and the nominations will open up when Madam Clerk says so.
I'm opening the floor for nominations. I'm sorry.
I would like to nominate Noel Nish. to
Second?
The first alternate position.
Thank you. Councilman Armington?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb?
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
And Council President Foster?
Yes.
Motion carries. And the nomination then for the second alternate member of the Board of Adjustment will be tabled to the February 17th meeting, pending complete posting and notice. Thank you. Okay, next we are looking for nomination for an appointment to the CDRS Committee. I'll open the floor.
All right, so I would like to, these are all council appointments going down.
For the CDRS?
It's a council appointment.
Oh, it
as well.
is? Oh, I'm sorry. I will turn that over to you, Council President.
Well, it says council vote, so, but
Yeah,
it's an
it's no-
appointment?
Yeah, it's a council president appointment.
My apologies for that.
And so I'll just run through the council appointments. So for the Morris County CDRS appointment, I'd like to appoint Councilman David Silva. For the liaison to the Morristown Housing Authority, I'd like to appoint Council Vice President Hillary Davis. For the liaison to the Parking Authority, I'd like to reappoint Bob Iannacone. Thank you, Bob. For the liaison to the Morristown Partnership, I'll reappoint Councilman Michael Elms. To the, as liaison to the Environmental Commission, I'd like to appoint Councilwoman Allison Deeb. And the liaison to the Planning Board, I'll reappoint Councilman Stefan Armington. And that's all the council liaison appointments. And we moved the correspondence, which we had noted as the Blue Wave New Jersey Women's Rally in March from the Town Hall to Morristown Green to the consent agenda. We have it listed for correspondence, so we don't need to discuss. So at this time, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Just 2 questions. One is, with all the appointments, we've always had a list of all the people that were appointed. It's called the family book. That's how we've described it in the past. So I would hope that we would get a family book by the end of this month or next month for 2018, updating all these appointments with their contact information, their emails, and their phones. And Council President, I would like to ask that we list for the next agenda the carryover from the December meeting on pedestrian safety issues on James and Glenwood and James and McCulloch.
We
So,
actually have that information. We'll make sure we get it to you prior to the meeting.
Great.
It was
And if
very-
we could list it on the agenda, I'd
Three
appreciate
things.
it. Thank you.
It's minimal, right? Yeah, it was very
Other than
minimal,
that-
but we'll get it to you. Very
Motion to
minimal.
adjourn. Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody in favor of adjournment?
Yes.
Opposed? And thank you to the public for coming out to support our first regular council meeting for 2018. Have a great evening.